15 love.
Nice couple of opening jabs from both players there. One of the most underrated shots in Rafa's arsenal is that cross-court backhand as well. Bothers Federer.
Good hard look at it.
30 love.
It's interesting you talk about the backhand. I think he defends better off the backhand, does Nadal. I think he can defend off it so aggressively, and the guys who have good effect against him are the ones who can go hard and deep to the forehand. And for me, that's going to be an important pattern to play tonight for Federer, Josh, to be able to rip that backhand cross-court and use the inside-out forehand to Rafa's forehand.
Absolutely. You've got to attack into Rafa's forehand. That's the players that have had success. Djokovic, Murray. We saw Zverev have good success with it.
I thought Dimitrov did a pretty decent, good job of going there. It took him a set to figure it out, but from the second set onwards, he was very effective, and that's a strong opening service game from Rafa. Because a lot of people forget that Nadal is predominantly right-handed, and that's why the backhand is so strong.
Yeah, and he can actually hit it harder than his forehand as well. I think that's something that gets lost a little bit in translation on a TV screen.
I think he does. His athleticism, his competitiveness, his heavy forehand. You forget just how great his double-handed backhand is. He can really hurt an opponent. He can shape it. He can flatten it out. He's got a great slice. He's got wonderful variation on it.
Roger Federer to serve.
What first serve percentage, Mark, do you think Roger Federer needs to serve at tonight?
It's not a simple answer, because obviously you could put 100% of first serves in with his talent, but it's not going to win 100% of points doing that. He's still got to win. I think he's got to win over 75% of his first serve points to win this match, to have a chance of winning it.
He will batter that Federer backhand all day long. It's a formula that he's used so well throughout the course of his career. Planting that seed of doubt early on.
Thank you.
Last major for Federer came back in 2012. It's been a while. That was at Wimbledon. As far as this man is concerned, it was at Roland Garros in 2014.
Yeah, there's a couple of things to look for, I think, early on. One is the length from Rafa, whether Roger can get that kind of ball back for him so that he can do that sort of damage. I was actually interested to see Rafa stand up on the juice side on the second serve. we've seen him obviously change it a little bit this tournament. Against Raonic, he was up, he was back against Dimitrov. Against Federer, historically, he's always been deep. It's interesting, in his first game, he stood up again here.
Didn't mix it up, though, against Dimitrov, didn't he, Mark?
40-30.
Bit forward, bit back. Remember, he was looking to his box.
I like him back against Federer, though, on the second serve, because he can hit the ball so high over the net, the ball gets up on Roger, and it's tough to get that first hit in straight away. Roger gets his forehand into play a lot.
That'll settle the nerves nicely.
One game more.
It's a minute. How many times you play big matches. The best will always tell you is nerves for the first 10 or 15 minutes whilst they settle into a match. Perfect.
Love 15.
That was a good play for Dimitrov the other night. The off backhand return into Rafa's backhand as the match wore on. He found it more often, just didn't quite come away with a win, but he had chances because of it.
all.
21st major final for Nadal. It's the 28th one for Roger. In case you were wondering,
13.
reaching the final here. Nadal has now tied Novak Djokovic in second place on that list for most Grand Slam finals reached. Federer is the leader, of course, with his number.
Interesting to see Roger standing up really close to return here, just trying to catch the eye and make Rafa just feel a little bit of pressure and feel his presence here.
Got a bit unlucky there, but again, I like the play from Roger, both on the returner serve and the first strike.
Game Nadal.
Old Faithful doing a trick.
Nadal leads by 2 games to 1.
Well, there's a men's singles championship match on serve after 3 games.
15 love.
Scary good get, wasn't it? Roger didn't really do an awful lot wrong, but again, he wants to stay on the front foot, and sometimes against Rafa, you've just got to reset the point and start all over again. It's not easy to do.
This evening, and he gets those opportunities to come in, Josh. He's got to take them.
Yes, he's not going to win every point. When he comes forward, he's going to get past a lot tonight, but he has to be consistent and persist with it. Already been in twice, he's won 2 points.
And not be scared to come in to that Nadal forehand.
Well, I think that's the side. You know, if you've got a quality approach shot, you have to go to the forehand side. You'll get more unforced errors from Rafa on that forehand.
Two comfortable service holes for both players.
2 games all.
After 14 minutes, this battle so well and truly joined. For me, this is one of the best serves in the business. Palm down as he takes the racket back. Beautiful extension. Look at the drive with the legs. There's a second movement there where he just keeps the body going up for a split second longer after he makes contact with the ball. Generates so much power with the big muscle groups. It's easy power.
Love.
You're talking about now. With the backhand, he very rarely takes a step back.
Organises his feet fantastically well. He knows roughly where the ball's going to come from, Roger, when he serves there. It's going to come up the middle of the court. He's obviously looking to try and get his forehand into play, but he knows roughly the area it's coming into. He'll serve Roger 70% backhand, 20% body, and 10% out there. It's just it's a routine formula that he uses. And unless he starts losing his serve often tonight, then he won't change it. The challenge for Roger is he knows what's coming. How do I counter it?
Game Nadal.
Such an effective serve for the lefties into the right hip of the right-hander.
Nadal leads by 3 games to 2.
Strong on serve, 3-2. It's a match winning streak against Federer at the majors. And of course hasn't lost to the Swiss at a major since falling in 5 sets. That final at Wimbledon 2007.
15 love.
Also, I think an important plan when you are playing Nadal, if you go hard to the forehand, you have to cheat a little bit, Mark, and stay in the backhand corner. You know he likes to hook the forehand cross court. Couple that with the forehand down the line is not one of his favourites.
This is a great example of the serve plus one that a lot of the coaches talk about. Executing the first shot once the ball comes back on return. And it's all about quality, and this doesn't get much better. He hasn't brought the sideline into play or the baseline. That's excellent.
40 love.
So it's probably one of the slowest aces that you'll see this evening from Federer. Just 169. That's placed with the geometric precision. Federer's best service game so far.
3 games over.
Don't think there'll be too many complaints from the players at the start of this match after 6 games, or the neutrals as well. Both players coming out here, timing the ball perfectly, exactly what everybody wanted to see.
Yeah, it's been clean, hasn't it? That's a great sign. Change of rackets here for Roger after 6 games. You can see he's got natural gut going down the mains, and he's got Luxilon Alu power in the crosses.
Love 15.
Court position outstanding once again. It's been a feature of Federer's returns early on.
That just might make Nadal think about throwing a couple of those second serves out to the forehand, as he's been doing. Some of his previous matches coming into here this year.
All.
Position there from Federer.
Well, it's controlled aggression here from Roger Federer. At times, when he's in rallies, he's swinging out of his shoes. This time, it's all very precise. He's not overplaying it. He really looks like he's got a firm plan tonight.
For me, that's where it started, with the cheats on the backhand, just staying in the corner, taking it early.
15-14.
Changed the whole dynamic of the points. crucially taken that final shot out the air,
Thank you.
taking time away from Rafa. He's got 2 break points. That's Federer. First blood. But only if Hawkeye says so. It is a challenge, but I think it's more for peace of mind than anything else.
Game Federer. New ball splits.
So Federer gets the first
Federer
break.
leads by 4 games to 3.
4-3 he leads when facing Rafa, but it's not a break until you hold. New balls.
Fifteen love.
Well, these net points really starting to add up. He's using them at just the right time. He's looking balanced with his movement as well, Roger. Not rushed. Carlos Moya,
40 love.
French Open champion. Lost in the final back here in 2007 to Pete Sampras, so he knows what it's like to play a huge match out here on Rod Laver Arena.
That's a Federer special. That's so well throughout the course of his career. When he breaks, quickly
Federer
holds,
leads by 5 games to 3.
works the momentum and gets those balls on the other side of the court.
Hasn't he served well this tournament? I think it's really hard to do that when you haven't played a lot of matches, but you know, his technique under pressure is excellent. I think that's what set him apart from his opponents this whole tournament.
He hasn't dropped a point on his first serve yet as well. 11 for 11.
Has lost 3 points in total, folks, when serving.
Love 15.
The way he moves through that ball on contact. Seeing what Federer does to him.
15
Taking
all.
time away.
And this is a return or a shot we haven't seen Federer use much tonight. The slice backhand. This is easy for Rafa. He eats these for breakfast.
Well, we haven't seen too many of those. So perhaps after being a breakdown, just time to change things up a little. You can see Federer leaning to his left, expecting the regulation serve down the middle.
40-30.
Set that off backhand nicely so far this evening. Tony looking a little uncomfortable next to Carlos Moya. Vintage Nadal. He reduces the arrears, but it'll be Federer who will come out and serve for the opening set. 5-4 he leads. He deviates from that approach up to the forehand and he pays the price.
Love the team.
Doesn't matter how far back he is in the court, he's just got great strength with his right hand on the racket here. He really fires it through. Great change of direction.
15-all.
Beautiful change-up. Just 177.
30-15.
Slider out wide.
How good is the feeling when you get those 3 points serving for a set against Nadal?
I don't know.
Backhand, Federer has been rock solid.
40-15.
And one of the contributing factors in him having 2 set points.
Game.
Closed out with Swiss precision. Roger Federer is a set to the good. In the 2017 men's singles final. He's won it 6-4.
By 6 games to 4.
Two wonderful athletes create. 7,500 seat capacity in there at Margaret Court Arena. They are just piling on him.
14,870 here in Rod Laver Arena. Packed to the rafters. Set number 2. It's going to be Nadal to get it started.
Love the team.
He's been so good with his court position at any time that Rafa's dropped the ball short. He's been absolutely ruthless because he's been able to quickly get a couple of steps up the court and take advantage of it.
This time it's Nadal taking a page out of Roger's book, and I think he's got some of the best finishing volleys in the business. Great hands. Again, another part of his game that we often don't speak highly of enough. Often gets overlooked.
$30-15. 40-15.
Well, he's the ultimate quizmaster, Rafa, in matches like this as well. He'll keep posing the question, and already a couple of missed forehands down the line. We didn't see too many of those in the opening set, and he just try and chisel away that confidence on Roger's forehand as the match progresses. He's in here for the long haul.
Game Nadal.
Good service game from Rafa, and you're so right, Mark.
First game, second set.
He understands that this is a marathon and not a sprint. And given the fact that he's been here so often, you can draw on that experience, can't you? You don't hit the panic button too early.
Yeah, and that last serve there was a bit of a Pyrrhic victory for Roger, because obviously he's thrown Rafa out of his comfort zone, his rhythm of serving into his backhand, because he's hit his backhand off backhand so well on that due side. Having said that, how was the response from Rafa? Nailed it to the line.
Yep. Crucial period this, isn't it? Next 5 minutes or so.
Well, it's hard to maintain the service stats that Roger has. 63% first serves in. He's only lost 1 point on serve in that first set, on the first serve. It's not that easy to serve like that for a couple of hours to beat Rafa.
Using the angles beautifully now, Rafa. We saw it on his previous service game. Trying to get Roger out of the middle corridor of the court, and he's done it well again here.
It's a problem when you go to the Nadal backhand too often, I think.
$15-13.
Justice, I guess. Nadal had one early on in the match, but
30-all.
Almost identical parts of of that tape.
I mean, how does it feel in that box? Tough to watch, isn't it? Much tougher when you're out there on the court. That's the first point down the line of any significance that we've seen from Rafa.
30-14.
That's why you still have to mix it up a bit to his backhand, because otherwise he just guessed. And he was right to do so.
It's given him his first break point.
That's courage to continue to go back there after he was beaten on the previous point.
Deuce.
And the net points starting to add up.
almost had it. But again, I like the foray forward from Nadal.
Advantage Nadal.
Second chance here for Rafa. Relentless, and his bounce back ability is probably the best in our sport.
And Mark, typically as Federer has struggled to convert break points against Nadal, vice versa, Nadal's been excellent in converting break points.
He has. He's about 11%, just over 10% better than Roger usually in terms of saving them. So yeah, he's, again, it's just more complicated, isn't it, for Roger? You get into that kind of rally on a break point where the maximum pressure is, and there's more chance of an error coming.
Good start to the second set for Nadal.
Love.
It's historically where Nadal will hit most of his winner off the forehand side. Had a look at the numbers this week, and just off centre in his backhand corner, hitting that inside-out forehand. It's his favourite. It's paid for a lot of nice real estate there in Mallorca.
Big battle on that due side, isn't there, between these two now on the second serve. And again, Roger doing a good job of standing his ground, didn't run around it this time, got that point. But Rafa won't mind, because at least by serving there, he just keeps Roger honest for some of the bigger points that will be heading their way. Talk about Roger's greatness, but maybe we don't give him enough credit for tactical genius as well. He's hit 100% of his backhands in that due side into Rafa's backhand. Against Stan, for example, just 45%. Massive shift.
I think they've learned a lot about that semi-final, the Nadal-Dimitrov semi-final. I really think they've spent a lot of time reviewing that match, just analysing what did and didn't work, and how can Roger implement these tactics. He's doing it well.
Juice.
Fascinating to see how that shot holds up over the course of this match.
Advantage Nadal.
His first couple of matches against Meltzer and Noah Rubin, the forehand was all over the place, but picked it up nicely against Burdick, and it's been pretty solid since. Had its moments against Wawrinka.
Juice.
Really taking on this return all evening. Very few chip or slice returns. He's been hitting over it confidently. He's been executing it far better than we've seen in previous matchups.
Sensational volley, bringing out the John Fitzgerald at the end of his range there.
Well, these are two of the best volleys you'll ever see.
Federer.
Best combos.
And a little bit of elevation sensation from Federer. Second chance to break. Didn't he do such a good job of keeping Federer off balance?
Great height as well. He just never really got a ball that he could just step into again. No, it's not just about pace, hitting the ball harder. He actually hit it softer there, so Roger had nothing to work with. And it was coming up high on the shoulder again. As a single-hander, so tough to generate pace.
Well, you just get the feeling the longer this game goes on, the more meaning it assumes. And it's going to be a major plot point in the outcome of this set.
Advantage Nadal.
He's giving him a steady diet of those high forehands. Definitely long. That's a great hold. Digging into those reserves of resilience.
Nadal leads by 3 games to none.
3-love. Nadal leads, but it's second on that list. Move one ahead of the great Pete Sampras. Currently both on 14. Great opening set from Federer, as Mark and Josh suggested. It was very clean and clinical, but it's just dropped off a couple of percentage points here, and he finds himself down a break.
Seats quickly, please.
Nadal starting to hit his straps. Just making that shot in the first set, wasn't he? Just those little differences. It's only small margins that determine the outcome of sets and matches, and there's unforced errors. Just starting to mount now for Roger.
Love that.
A lot of these errors off the back of Federer being pushed out wide.
Especially on that forehand, Josh. 9 of the 15 have come from that side. Got to keep an eye on that shot. Well, this is like 3 set points. Double break. And this set is pretty much done and dusted. And he picked it. Could see a move there just before Federer made contact with the ball. And again, lethal off that backhand wing.
Fifteen, 14. Thirty, 14.
Nadal with the 3rd chance.
Game Nadal.
Again, it's an expensive miss of the forehand side from Federer.
Nadal leads by 4 games to love.
Getting a little more relaxed now. And, boys, you would have to think that's set number 2 done and dusted.
Yeah, he has uncontested ownership of this set, no question about it. But you know, the reality is what you've just witnessed is Roger playing at his absolute peak in that opening set. And if he could play every set of tennis in his career like that, he'd probably have already had 30 majors. But it's almost impossible to do, particularly against somebody like Rafa.
A little bit of frustration in that last point.
Love 15.
You talk about elastic energy. Check this out. It's one of the few players who has the elbow straight on contact with the ball on the forehand side. Actually, both him and Nadal do that, together with Fernando Verdasco.
Love 13. Fifteen, 13.
That was a great serve. Bouncing so short up the service box. So much work on it. with the return of serve.
And you'll see on this one, when the ball bounces and gets around shoulder height, particularly on the forehand here, that's when he can really hit that off forehand and get the ball moving away. Sometimes when it's below the knee height, he finds it hard to really get the ball going quickly in that direction. He shapes it and spins it more.
He's got a chance to get one of the breaks back here. But it's Nadal who's still pretty comfortable at 4-1.
Nadal leads by
That Roger plays his best tennis at. And I know that's a bit of an oxymoron, but that game at 4-love was probably a big one for him, because we were seeing him being aggressive, but it was pretty anxious as well.
Nadal. 15-love. Let's for service. Mr. Federer is challenging the call on the right centre service line. The ball's put out.
More out than in is my feeling.
Second service.
Certainly hasn't won many of these rallies over the years,
Federer has 2 challenges.
Roger Federer, but he's anticipated well in this one.
Changed the whole dynamic of the point there, didn't he, Josh?
Rafa doing exactly there what he told himself to do at the end of the last point when he missed it, was get up on the baseline, do a little bit more with the ball.
Statement of intent.
40-15.
Annoyed with the way the last 5 minutes has gone.
Yeah, there's a lethal loveliness to that forehand from the commentary box, but not probably from where Roger was sitting or standing. That might just be an ominous sign.
40-30.
Big difference in the numbers on serve, isn't it, in this second set? Still serving the same percentage, around 60% of first serves in. Only winning 45% on the first serve and 38.
What was it in the first set?
Up to 73% he was winning on first serve.
Very important to close out that game. And suddenly, Federer's looming large in the rear-view mirror of Nadal.
Nadal leads by 4 games to 2.
And that's the difference on serve. If you don't hit your spots, if you can just be a few inches out, and that just plays right into the hands of Rafa. But it does show you, and it does highlight the importance of building pressure, winning serves, winning 3 points on serve. Not many people do it better than Roger. And on the flip side, there's not many better returners in the business than Rafa Nadal. New balls.
Fifteen love.
Lots been discussed about the pace of the courts. Slightly different. Rod Laver Arena versus Margaret Court in high sense. This one coming out to the quickest of the 3 show courts.
Interesting start to this game, isn't it? It's not as though he's worried about changing too much out here. First couple of points, beat me with your worst shot.
New ball's playing a role in that or not, Mark?
I think a little bit, but also just the threat that comes from the other side. He's just not allowing Roger to have a look on that forehand side. The other style problem that Roger has with Rafa, of course, is Rafa's backhand down the line. Historically, it's always quite a risky shot for a lot of players. But for Rafa, he gets so much net clearance that he actually, out of the top 10, hits it down there almost 50% of the time. That's more than anyone else in the top 10. So again, he can find Roger's backhand from those situations a lot more easier than a lot of other players.
Game Nadal.
Well, he's found it pretty easy in that service game, and very effectively too. That's one heck of a return. It wasn't a bad serve.
All. $30-15.
Got to be so strong in the upper body to hit the shot.
40-15.
Total commitment to the course.
Again, Federer.
It's a pattern of play. It's worked well for him.
Nadal leads by 5-3.
So he's held up his side of the bargain. So the moment of truth in the second set for Nadal.
Well, the last crucial game we saw Rafa direct all the traffic into Roger's backhand, particularly with his first serve. Interesting to see whether he stays with the same policy. You would expect him to.
Love.
Copy and paste. Such a tried and trusted formula. That shot forged in steel. Buggy whip wrapping it around his head. As clinical as Federer was in closing out the first set, this has been an outstanding game from the 2009 champion here. 3 set points. Outstanding service game from Nadal. He levels things up here by winning the second set 6 games to 3. It's a set apiece. Set number 3, Federer to get it underway. Of course, Josh, when they played in the final in 2009, again, the third set proved so pivotal. Nadal winning it in a tiebreaker to go up 2 sets to 1, even though it went the distance. It's such a big psychological advantage, isn't it?
30 love. $40 love.
Standing. I'm getting the shape on the forehand down the line spot on. It's always a barometer of Nadal's confidence for me. When he starts making that shot regularly, you better watch out.
That's the right idea. He's been saving this play up for a big point. He snuck in beautifully, just clipping the top of the tape, and it was a shot that just needed to clear the net, and he would have won it. And this is how quickly things can turn around. 40 love up, back to deuce. Such a pivotal moment in this match.
Once again, it's the forehand that lets him down.
Advantage, Nadal.
Just out of the corner of his eye, you can see Nadal racing towards that side. 4 points on the bounce now for Rafa. He's got a break point early on.
Deuce.
Quickly snuffed out. Ace number 6.
Advantage Nadal.
This is much more than just forehands and backhands out here. It's a psychological battle, and he's got scars from their other ones, and they're reopening right now at the start of the third.
Juice.
And what a response. Same situation, same result.
And again, that's where Rafa wins a point that very few opponents of Rogers would, because he overcomplicates it. There was huge space, the court's quick, short angle here, he wins the point. Rafa can't make that, but he thinks, I better get in behind him. He could get it.
Yeah, it's pressure.
Third chance for the Spaniard.
Let's for service. Juice.
For the third time, it's the same response.
And it's his least favourite serve on this side. He loves the slider down the tee on the big points. Over the last decade, it's his go-to serve. He's been forced to make it out wide. A serve that he rarely uses on big points. That's excellent.
Thank you. Advantage Federer.
Took a little detour in that service game. And,
First game,
the road got pretty bumpy, and he managed to survive.
Yeah, just looking at some of the Hawkeye numbers that we get as we see Roger winning this opening game in their previous meetings, all of their previous meetings bar one, I think. He's only ever hit 2 aces out wide on the outside in all of the break points that he's faced, and he hit 3 in the game. I tell you, that is doing something different from what you've done before, and he had to.
Yeah, it's great tactical awareness, isn't it, by Federer? And I'm sure he's a student of the game. Over these last 6 months, he would have watched a lot of tennis from his lounge room at home, doing rehab. And there, the opportunities, he would have picked up some small things. Ivan Ljubicic, a new coach on board, brings something different.
It's hard for Rafa as well, because he knows predominantly Roger goes there as well. So it's hard to hold your balance at that point, on a big point like that.
It's a scintillating forehand.
love the team.
You just got an extra pep in your step after you've come through that previous service game. Just wrap the racket around the right side of the ball in order to create that angle. Great dynamic balance. And the head always so still when he makes contact with the ball. how was that shot? So quick
Love 30.
to step up and take time away from Nadal. That is Federer in full flow.
Thank you.
Adrenaline coursing through his veins.
Just wasn't quite there, but again, it's the right play. That ball's up high. He's going to be on the back foot if he doesn't try and do something with it. We know historically if he chips the ball, Rafa still stays in charge of the rally unless he can put it really short angle and surprise him. So those are the ones when you miss, you've just got to accept.
Yeah, but for me, miss long. Don't miss in the net. Take that out of play.
All.
You can just feel the momentum shifts.
That does just deserve a standing ovation. This point may look easy at home, but let me tell you, this is ridiculous. He has timed this to perfection. Head down, eyes on top of the ball.
What a way to bring up a break point. Well, third set, boys, has only been going 15 minutes, but we've seen a fair few momentum
Federer
shifts.
leads by 2 games to none.
But it's Federer who's made it count early on.
He's just changed gears slightly again. He's just taken the level up a notch. He hasn't panicked after dropping that second set, hasn't gone back into his shell. He's still executing, he's returning beautifully, and he's put himself in front 2-love.
15 love.
Well, he is the more artistic of the two, and his medium is the lead, because had he not held that opening service game, I doubt we would have seen the opening couple of points in the next game that allowed him to carve out a lead that he was able to take with that breathtaking point at 30 all. So huge shift.
I love this play. When Rafa is standing behind the Melbourne sign to return, that is 4 to 5 metres behind the baseline when he's making contact. Has to convince himself that you need to serve volley.
40 love.
Serve is just so good. And it's such a high percentage play for Roger. It takes pace off, lots of spin. He can make it all day long.
Again.
Betts, how you cement to break. A 60-second special.
Thank you. Ready for play.
Work to do for Nadal. Love 3.
Love 15.
You don't get too much negative emotion out of Nadal, do you? Wasn't happy with that shot at all.
$15 all.
For me, these are the moments in the match where Federer really needs to cash in. 3-love may seem like a handy lead, but it's only the one break, and if anyone can come back at you, it's Rafa. You got to keep going with momentum here, and Federer needs to take advantage.
From Roger.
15-14.
Well, this is excellent court position from Federer, not budging from the baseline, refusing to go back, trying to take half volleys, take it early, and that just takes time away from this man.
Let's for service.
What a first strike, because it wasn't a bad return.
30-14.
That was a great return. I actually think by hitting so many off backhands in this match, he's created a bit of room up the line. If he could flick one down there, I think Rafa's backed it into his backhand corner, understandably so. It's about trying to create space on the court for your winners, and I think he's probably got a little corridor there now.
Juice.
Scintillating stuff once again on that forehand cross court. We saw it earlier, didn't we?
That's his bread and butter.
Advantage.
Absolutely loves this shot.
For most people, that's their caviar, not bread and butter.
And the pantheon of great Federer shots, that one is right up there.
Thank you.
Oh, time to mix it up. And it'll be fascinating to see psychological effect if Nadal is able to hold here. Great players have got this incredible instinct as to when to mix things up.
Advantage Nadal.
Nadal's girlfriend making the journey down for the first time to Australia this year. As Rafa said, she got the wild card.
Deuce.
You're so right, Josh. You just get the feeling that it's so important for Federer to get the added insurance of a double break. I think some of the biggest comebacks within sets that I've seen is when a player's got a chance to go up a double break, doesn't get it, and then gets broken in the very next game.
Advantage Nadal.
So close to going up 4-love, pretty much set, done and dusted. All of a sudden you're back on serve.
It's amazing, isn't it, how even great tennis players, and arguably none greater than Roger, still need the reinforcement of the scoreboard at times to produce their best tennis. I mean, he was wavering at the start of this third set. You look at him right now, he can't miss.
Advantage Nadal. Federer leads by 3-1.
Well, Federer having a fair few chances in that game. Unable to make the most of those break points.
15-love.
Yeah. Federer in the match so far, 3 of 8 on break points won. Rafa's on 2 of 8.
Federer didn't put a foot wrong in those previous break points. It was
30-love.
It was the excellent play from Nadal, an ace, and then 2 unreturnable serves. Not too many people execute better under pressure than Rafa Nadal. But what a response here from Federer. Shrugged off the disappointment. And races to 40-love. This just builds pressure, these service games, these quick service games.
wipe the slate clean after the previous game.
Fifteen love.
I mean, those are the patterns of play you learn growing up on a clay court. Just moving your opponent from left to right, running them ragged. The return you were looking for, Mark.
30-15.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, he actually at times wants to play it there, because even if he feels more comfortable hitting the off backhand tonight, and it's obviously worked extremely well, he wants to keep Rafa honest. You don't want to just keep doing something, but I still think it's not a bad play if he gets up break point to go there as well.
Let's for service.
It's always a fine line, deciding when to make that change up, especially when you had success, you know, going with a particular pattern of play. I think it's a decision makes the decisions that you make within the match at those stages. So important. Another half chance for Roger.
Been so impressed with his movement tonight, Roger Federer. His ability to take the ball early. It looks easy on TV, but this is incredibly difficult to execute. Your timing has to be spot on. It's been that so far.
And your footwork's got to be even better. The monogrammed maestro delivers.
And that's the difference, just by not quite getting accurate on your serve. You go out there and you don't get it 100% right, which he normally does. That one just not quite wide enough, and he pays the price.
He was cheating over there a little bit, wasn't he? That always helps.
Federer leads by 5 games to 1.
It's a combination of that serve not being quite as good enough, plus Roger just giving himself a little bit more time on the ball, but anticipating correctly. And the results, fabulous return.
Love 15.
See Rafa there just sent 3 rackets off to the restringer. Just might be not happy with the tension. Might feel it's playing a little quick out here, so he wants a tighter string tension. It'll take about 20 minutes to get those 3 sent back strung, fresh.
Mr. Federer is challenging the call on the right near sideline. The ball's good in.
I have a sneaky feeling this is in, Josh. How important is it, boys, for Federer to close up the set right now?
Well, it's pretty important because you want to keep the momentum. He's worked so hard. He's actually invested a fair bit of effort. And that is a wonderful challenge. Return on investment here for Federer. It's crucial that he goes on and holds here, because of anyone in the last 10 to 20 years that's played the game, you get so few opportunities to go for the knockout punch. Nadal, he can find a way to get out of jail. But I just think Roger, just physically, if he can get a clean set here.
Because things, as we saw at the start of the third set, change around very quickly. You know, he's facing break points, and that's something that he's obviously done well tonight. Was he found 7 out of 8 first serves tonight? You know, that's got him out of trouble, and that isn't always going to be the case as this match unfolds.
And I think every bit of energy that you can keep in case this match does go long, you know, you need. That's why it's important for him to serve it out here. Is suffocating.
Juice.
Is where the pace of the court helps, Roger. We're so used to, over the last 5, 6, 7 years, having these slow courts where he has to force that inside-out forehand. But here, with the conditions as they are, he can stroke it and the court does the work for him.
Set point. Pace of that second serve as well, Josh. Just 125.
He's thrown in the odd change up, but he's put a lot of height on it, so the ball's actually bounced up high off the court. Just a little bit of indecision on that last shot. Nadal is incredible. He's getting belted in this set on the scoreboard. If you looked at him, he would think this is 5-all, the way he's reacting, competing, refusing to give in. You've got to love it.
Break point, Rafa.
Juice.
Because he's hit the serve out wide so well on break points, he actually on that big one there was able to take it down the tee fairly routinely and still get success with it.
Set point number 2. Sets to 1 lead.
Love.
You just noticed there, Nadal's won the first point. He's just given a vamos right back in Federer's face, just letting him know he's not going anywhere.
Roger. Interesting to see whether he tries to tuck him up. I thought this was an attempted body serve here by Rafa. Just didn't get it quite right, and Roger still making shots like that. But it will certainly be interesting as this set unfolds whether he tries to tuck him up a little bit more. Chipped one return on a second serve, and he's barely chipped one on the first serve as well tonight, Roger, and you can see why Rafa's trying to tuck him up. Rafa will have to think a little bit about his second serve at times as well, because Roger's certainly trying to make some plays on it, introduce something a little different than he has done in the past, and it's working.
Let's second service.
Roger obviously thought that Rafa was going to take that second serve big into his forehand side there and got tucked up on his backhand. That's a pretty significant point in the context of the match and the start of this fourth set.
Nadal gets the scoreboard moving in his favour here in the fourth set.
First game, fourth set.
I've just been looking over Nadal's career, boys. All best of 5 sets, Josh. How many times he's come back to win after being 2 sets to 1 down? And in fact, it's only 3 out of 20 where that's happened. And you've got to go back to Mikhail Yuzhny at Wimbledon, 2007. And prior to that, in Wimbledon against Robert Kendrick. I remember that match well early on in the tournament. And of course against the man that's sitting in Federer's box, Ivan Lubicic in Madrid. Of course that's when Madrid was indoors, 2005, the finals there. He came back from being 2-1 down, so cards are heavily in Federer's favour now.
I'm not so sure Roger would feel that. He's a statistician. He knows all the stats, doesn't he, Roger? He's all over it. But this is different. It's a Grand Slam final.
Feelings of winning a major have laid dormant for a while now as well.
Yes, exactly.
You'll have some serious doubts and nerves, like everyone would. But this is what he's done really well tonight, Federer. He has raced through some service games, just taking time away again from Rafa. Even though he loses this point, Roger Federer, he's controlling it.
Faults.
Execution, the cross-court backhand followed by the ripper down the line on the rise.
One game more.
And you watch this, it actually doesn't have to be that brilliant. This backhand down the line, look at that. That was in the middle, but see how early he takes it. That's the big difference. Inside the baseline upon contact.
Ready for play.
It's amazing how well he stayed up on the baseline tonight and not allowed himself to get dictated and pushed back. You can see Rafa just shaking his head.
Dexterity in the wrist there.
30 love.
Did make that look ridiculously easy, didn't he?
40-15. Rafael Nadal.
What a strong game from Rafa.
Nadal leads by 2 games to 1.
Ron.
Love 15.
It's careless. This point of the game is so important, just to get the momentum working in your favour. Two in a row now.
Yeah, and that's been the problem of the first serve for Rafa in sets 1 and 3. He's not been able to get the ball back into play as much. 40% in the first set. Roger got unreturned with his first, almost 60% in the third. You compare that to under 10% in the second. Rafa was just able to get his racket on the ball, force him to play a little bit more, and you can bet your bottom dollar he's going to force him to play here.
World-class. So good at making his opponents pay when they leave the door ajar.
Love 14.
Footwork to get around that. Cranking up the revs. As only he can do. 3 break points.
— 15-14.
Coming to his backhand at your peril. So good at the end of his
Nadal
range
leads
on
by
that
3
shot.
games to 1.
Just a correction to a stat I gave you earlier, folks. In fact, I was looking at Nadal's numbers when he was 2 sets to love down, not when he was 2 sets to 1 down. And as you suggested to me, Josh, his ability to come back from 2 sets to 1 down is a lot better than just 3 occasions. He's done it on 10 of 26. So that's a healthy 38% of the time. Of course, the last time he did it was a couple of days ago, right here.
Love 15.
Young Alexander Zverev.
So hard when you're chasing the score and you're still the playmaker.
15 all.
42 winners for Roger tonight compared to just 18 for Rafa. And when the scoreboard's in your favour, it just comes a lot easier.
30-15.
It's another combination of forehands. Rich quality from Federer. As Mark suggested, plenty of winners, but you look at those in relation to the unforced errors. And a fair few.
Immaculate length from Roger, and yet still Rafa with a chance to make the pass.
But again, missing it off his forehand, Mark. How many times have we seen him make tougher passes out of his backhand corner? So I like the question that Federer's asked there.
Led for service. Mr. Federer is challenging the call on the right near sideline. The ball scored out.
He was trying to use every single inch of the full diagonal there.
Advantage Nadal. Mr. Federer has 2 challenges remaining. Juice.
Makes no mistake of it. Just such a huge period in this match right now. For Rafa, if he can consolidate this break, go to a 4-1 lead. And Roger is just trying to cling on here, dig the heels in and try and get the vital break back.
Federer was aiming with that forehand.
Advantage Nadal.
I'm not sure if he's trying to go cross court there or line off, set a miss hit. Is he trying to just go hard and deep up the middle? I thought the cross court option there, defending, use maximum amount of court to hit into.
These two guys, if they're only feeling $1 million, they're feeling a bit poor.
I think my maths is correct. If Roger does win tonight, he'll go over the $100 million mark in prize money alone.
30 low.
Difference between the cognitive processes of both these guys, the way they approach a tennis match. Roger's instinct, and when he's in the lead and he can just play with that kind of freedom subconsciously, he's just so dangerous. But when Rafa makes it a street fight and he has to think about what he's doing out here, this is why you see a few more errors creeping into his game.
Talk me through this one, gentlemen.
He's a human being, as great as he is.
Even at this stage of the match, he can have a little chuckle to himself about it.
Let's second service. Thank you.
There's an equal threat off both sides when Nadal can sometimes average greater speeds off that double-hander than his forehand in matches, and it hurried on to Roger. There's no safe zone.
Juice.
Well, this time he goes to his favoured serve, the slider down the tee.
Bringing up ace number 13.
Advantage Federer.
Such an important game, just to stay within touching distance.
Nadal leads by 4 games to 2.
Just a one-breaker serve, you can still harbour ambitions of getting back into a set.
Love. Let's for service. 30 love. Love. Game Nadal.
Federer winning 70% of the points behind his first serve, but it still hasn't been good enough.
15 love.
I think at the start of the match, Mark, you were suggesting 75 was your minimum requirement as far as Federer's first serve points won was concerned.
The best he's done, Federer, against Rafa on average in terms of his court position on the baseline.
Oh, how good's that? In this match, I mean, Mark?
Yeah. Yeah, and he may have had 1 or 2 matches where he's been close, but in terms of not getting off the backhand, not dropping 2 meters behind the baseline, this is the best he's done. And, you know, we've seen that with the 3/4 backhand cross courts that he's managed to hit. And the lack of winners that Rafa's been able to hit as well, because there haven't been the gaps to go through Roger with.
Yes, forehand enforced there is mounting. Remember, it was a forehand at the start of the 4th game that set off this chain of events.
40-30.
Found him in a tough predicament here. Doesn't want to lose serve here, does he, Josh?
Absolutely not. It's a must-win game for Federer. He's desperately trying to hold on so he can have one more crack at breaking Nadal. He still firmly believes he's in this set.
And of course, that comes with the added advantage for Nadal of serving first in the 5th. You can see that shake of the racket there from Roger.
Advantage.
His body language has been impressive tonight, Federer. Hasn't shown disappointment, hasn't dropped the head. He's believed.
Game Federer. New ball squeeze. Nadal leads by 5 games to 3.
Been a few more unforced errors at times between these two, there's no question, but I think partly due to the court surface, where it is advantageous obviously that you can hit winners, but also there's a real sense of urgency when conditions are like this, that you need to get the first strike in, you need to defend your court position, and I think that, you know, they're not often played each other in conditions such as this as well.
Nadal serving to take us into a decider.
$15 love.
Changed it up nicely, hasn't he? He's gone away again. He's been willing to actually look at things with a good perspective. He's gone body here. Remember in their second set he was just getting it into the backhand. Didn't need to change anything. Rogers forced him to change. He's responded.
Just like when we saw him close out that second set. He's doing a clinical job here in the fourth again. 3 set points.
Faults.
Nadal wins the fourth, 6 games to 3. Game on. Quite a bit in that first set. The stage is set. The two of our sports greatest players to try and get their hands on the St. Norman Brooks Challenge Cup. Federer for a 5th time, Nadal for a 2nd. Here we go.
Love the team.
He's come out with a vigor and venom.
Just relentless.
Love the team.
So quick to jump on that short forehand. That's key. Do whatever he can to take time away from Nadal. That's a big time shot right there from Rafa.
15-14.
Perhaps just the second forehand winner that I can remember in the match that has gone down the line. What a time to deliver such a heavy body blow.
The quality of shots Federer is having to play, shot after shot, to win a point right now is through the roof. Every one of these would have been a winner against most other top 100 players. unrelenting. Shouldn't be surprised.
One of these two guys, of course, going to emulate Gaston Gaudio's run at the French in 2004, where he had to win 3 5-setters to win that particular title. Doesn't happen often. It's a long journey when you've got to play that much tennis. Beat Kanyas and Djokovic in the opening round in 5, and of course one that Guillermo Coria will want to forget, that finals. 5 sets, Coria with match points for the championship. It was a huge opening game, and Nadal grabbed it.
Thank you.
Lethal with that backhand pass.
15 love. All.
Can he resuscitate his challenge quickly in this 5th set?
Perhaps he might need just a little bit of lady luck on his side in order to do that, Mark.
Federer is taking this. He plants the foot firmly down the court. Gets the body weight through the shot. And Team Federer urging their man on.
Thank you.
2 break points for Roger.
was the right play.
30-14.
Had to take it early. He cannot afford to go back in the court, lose court position. That's what's got him to a fifth set.
So clutch.
Juice.
The footwork to get around the ball.
Just look how much safety is built into such a high-risk shot as well. I mean, that's why he's so difficult to beat. He takes the net out of play, the lines, and he still hits the clean winner.
He's the ultimate percentage player, isn't he, Mark? That's why his record on clay is unfathomable. There she is again.
Advantage, Federer.
She's dressed in red and white.
Ready for play, thank you.
That's the one. That's the one that's won him the title. He could not have hit a better return there, Roger.
Deuce.
And then he was chasing. How are you running and chasing shadows after a return like that?
With that forehand down the line.
Advantage, Nadal.
I mean, again, just to have the instinct to know now is the right time to pull off that shot.
Hold in the context of this match, and the momentum is firmly with Nadal now.
Just feel it up here, can't you?
Well, you can feel the palpable tension, that's for sure, but what you can feel is the need for this man to regroup, and he doesn't have a lot of time because this is a must-win service game for Roger.
Oh. 15 love. Mr. Nadal is challenging the ball, right baseline. The ball scored in.
Well, just a quick look towards his camp, and I think they've suggested it's one of those line-licking backhands, Josh.
Well, he's pretty good with his challenges normally. But just catches the back of the line.
30 love. Mr. Nadal has 2 challenges remaining.
This is just what he needs, isn't it? Speedy hold. Get back on track.
40 love. Nadal leads by 2 games.
Bigger toll on the muscles as a result when you're doing training back at home.
15 love. Love.
That's why it's absolutely crucial. Roger just at least stays within touching distance with Rafa for as long as he can in this final set. Just any sort of hiccup, any unforced error such as that just gives him a little bit of an opportunity.
Shots like that are worth the admission fee on their own.
He's hit this shot well tonight, Federer. A lot better than I've seen him hit it against Nadal in previous matchups.
I almost feel, Josh, like he knows he has to, because it's the pattern of play that you need in order to be successful against Rafa. Look at that, 122 points each, but of course it's Nadal with the break in this fifth set.
What you see when he misses a ball like that is just how difficult it is to hit it as cleanly as he has for 2 out of the 5 sets. It's moving, it's jamming you into your body, but he's done such a great job, Roger, for the most part, of being able to force Rafa to actually think about moving his serve around.
Now the crowd just getting a little more involved. They want more, urging Federer on here.
Let's for service.
Magnificent. Well, on a match where he has produced some absolutely startlingly good rallies, this arguably, given the situation,
Advantage Federer.
The best of the lot.
Please.
Can he make it count? Another break point for Federer.
This is too good.
I mean, mentally, this guy is a fortress.
Juice.
He gives you nothing And you're right, Josh, it's the quality of the points that he plays when he's break point down that is so mind-boggling.
Just a little more complicated than it looks for Roger. Should he go down the line? Does he go back into the forehand where he's had a lot of success and ended up just not able to execute the shot?
Decision making under pressure. That's what sport is all about.
Nadal leads by 3 games to 1.
Talk a lot about his resolve and his ability to sort of resist pressure and defend, but you know, I think amongst that subtly it gets lost just how well he attacks on big points. That backhand winner that he hit there, it was great recognition that Roger was playing fantastically well and could potentially take the break back. He just didn't allow him to. He didn't just sit back and wait for the error.
Love.
Can't help to go back to what you were saying a little earlier, Petch, about must-win games, and it's the problem when you go down a break early on in a set, isn't it? So good with that backhand. His ability to improvise with that shot.
15-all.
I'm not sure that I like the drop shot from Federer.
He's running out of ideas. He's forced to try different shots. He's playing well, Roger Federer.
30-15.
I think it's fair to say this is as well as Federer has played in the last decade against Rafa in a big match in a final of a slam. But Rafa is just playing better.
Tennis from two of the greatest players ever to play our sport. Right now it's this man who is in the ascendancy. Federer trying to play catch up.
And once again, it's Federer just forced to take this on. High-risk tennis at its best.
hardest rally of the match.
Thank you.
9 bruising shots each. Tactic there, boys, because Federer gave him the line and said, come on, I want to see you hit that forehand down the line for decent forehand from me.
Talked about how well Rogers played, but there was great sort of visual evidence in the last couple of points about what we're talking about. I mean, such is the respect for Rogers' backhand. The last couple of points, he's gone into the forehand side, which is very surprising given the magnitude of the moment here.
Once again, Josh, it's tennis right out of the top drawer when it matters most. It's unplayable virtually. He had too much time on that forehand.
Well, he just popped up a fraction upon impact. That opened the racket head face, and hence the ball goes long. So it's an opportunity. Here for Federer, and I just cannot believe how well Nadal has played these big points, these break points over the last 30 minutes. That has been the difference, and that is why he's winning. Can he respond one more time?
Thank you. Players are ready.
Yes, he can.
Juice.
And to the viewers at home, this looks like one of the easiest forehands you can possibly make. It's certainly not at this stage of the game.
Thank you. Advantage Nadal.
I feel on one of those break points, Federer has to take a chance, almost lean towards one side on return and just try and cover it if he gets another opportunity.
Juice. Advantage, Federer.
So if you're Roger Federer here, you're returning. Which side are you covering? What are you looking for?
I mean, for me, you've got to cover the serve out wide. You've just had the change up to the forehand.
He's gone body forehand, bar one serve though on this ad side. It's not easy to pick.
He's missed it.
He's human.
Well, in a career of extraordinary accomplishments, if he wins this arguably his greatest ever.
3-all.
And no matter what happens, these are the moments we're going to remember as fans. Not how many they won, where they won, the moments that made us feel like this.
Sending his fans into a religious fervor is Roger.
30 love. Thank you. Players are ready. Quiet, please.
Oh, that's a thing of beauty.
It's incredible the level of belief and also creativity he's suddenly just brought to the last couple of games.
Please.
Quick decision making under an extreme amount of pressure. So easy to go with an inside-in forehand there, but trusting the pattern of play that has worked extremely well for him in this match.
It's not as though his reputation needed enhancing, but it will be if he wins this. This is stunning. Well, he was a little off put there by somebody in the crowd in between first and second serves. That was a tough moment for Rafa. It's going to be pandemonium if he wins this game.
Thank you.
Federer's won 7 points in a row.
Thank you.
It's incredible, this guy's ability to deliver once again. And his back's against the wall. His least favourite shot. What a time to pull it off. Unwavering belief.
A huge serve coming up here.
30-14.
He has persisted with that body forehand serve. Is it time to use the slider wide for Rafa right here? The old faithful.
Juice.
He hasn't missed time many backhand returns in this match.
Forget that rally.
Jaw-dropping stuff from both players, redlining their game simultaneously. But it's Federer who produces an absolute moment of magic.
Federer.
That is why sport is the best form of reality TV.
And he responds. Of course he does. So good.
Juice.
Under pressure once again.
He's got that forehand operating.
Advantage Federer.
How many more looks can he get and not convert, guys?
Well, I think once again, I know it sounds easy under pressure, but to take a chance or maybe cover a side when he's returning here, just to force Nadal to serve to his least favoured serve, maybe down the tee.
He's 1 of 10 break points in this deciding set is Federer.
What a match from both these great champions. I mean, they've won so much, they have so much material wealth, and yet they're playing out here as though they're both bankrupt. They're so desperate for the win.
He's played some big games in his career. Doesn't get much bigger than this.
After 3 hours and 31 minutes, Roger Federer will serve for his 5th Australian Open title.
It is going to be hard for Federer.
Love to do.
It just, the man down the other end, Rafa, will not go away. He's going to make this incredibly difficult.
Suffocating Federer with wonderful length in that rally, but
Love 13.
no first serves in this game. First serve percentage down to 43 in this set.
Thank you.
He needs one desperately now.
15-13.
What a response this has been from Rafa. Yes, he was given a little bit of an opportunity with the no first serves, and that was close to being over the net, but I don't think it was. It was a difficult camera angle.
2 break points, Nadal.
30-14.
19th ace, Federer.
Well, he served well out wide to Rafa's forehand on the big points, particularly when he's been down a break point. It's his least favourite serve. Does he go it? Well, incredible movement here from Federer to give himself space on this forehand, just to get right around with the ball viciously biting off from Rafa's forehand spin.
Please. Advantage Federer.
After 3 hours and 35 minutes, Federer is at championship points.
Thank you. Mr. Federer is challenging the call on the service line. The ball scored out.
It's in.
So they will have a do-over. There will be a first serve.
Advantage Federer. Please.
Championship point.
Mr. Federer is challenging the call on the service line. The ball scored out.
A fate in the hands of Hawkeye. It's way long.
Second service.
Lost the feel on the forehand
Mr.
there.
Federer has 2 challenges remaining. Advantage Federer.
20th ace brings up a second championship point for Federer.
Thank you. Is challenging the call on the left near sub-line. The ball scored in.
Can you believe this? Hawkeye decides the outcome. It's in! Victory for Federer! He's champion in Australia for the fifth time, and it's major number 18 for the Swiss maestro. And he's entered the hard way, beating his nemesis, Rafael Nadal, in 5 uncompromising sets. Federer wins 6-4, 3-6, 6-1, 3-6, 6-3.
Well, the Australian